for having a near-death experience.
Okay.
For another near-death experience.
There we go. That was a demonstration of an NDE. So we're going to continue where we kind of were, and I think Pam's going to someday in the future merge the two together to make it more sense. Make more sense of the whole thing. But anyway, we just went amok again. So
You're aptly named.
so true. I think I was talking about the
Your
accident
NDE, yeah.
and talking about the NDE a bit ago from when I was 14, but the accident from a couple weeks ago where a car drove through a restaurant window, missed me by about 4 feet, also missed the family by 4 feet.
Wow.
On the other side, I mean, I could have reached out and touched the car. I was kind of in shock, worried about the people because there was kids. And people are running around by me going, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, "I don't know. There's glass everywhere around me." But, I finally was able to get up when the paramedics took all the people out. Police, they said, "Everybody out." I'm like, I'm not going to move because I have glass just everywhere around.
Wow. Well, you
And
didn't you say something hit your ankle?
Yeah.
Here.
yeah, I got hit in the ankle with a chair. So my left ankle, and a nice black and blue mark. I think it's now turning purple, but it's fine. But I didn't know if I was hurt, injured, glass, because there was
Wow.
stuff all behind me and just a mess. When I did stand up, he helped me stand up, and I did, and I looked back and I took a picture of the car. I took a picture of the other side with the family. I took a picture of where I was sitting. And when I looked at it a couple hours later, I'm like, the table that was sitting this way behind me was now standing up just like this,
Wow.
immediately behind my chair I was sitting in. And when I looked at the picture more closely, the big double window he went through, the window frame, probably about 20 feet long, was actually do this was actually like this behind me,
Wow.
and it was right about that height. So basically right at my neck. So the table stopped at that metal rod that it was about that thick, about maybe 3 inches, and about maybe a quarter inch thick. It would have hit me in the back or the back of the head or my neck, and who knows? But yeah, I was
Definitely
saved.
would cause some damage.
Definite damage, but yeah, I was saved.
And you were saved again.
Mhm. And I made that comment that day. I'm like, I usually wear a hat. Usually it's my ball cap, but I mean, I took that thing off, closed my eyes, and went, "Thank you so much."
No, they told me that they were going to run the thing.
So, Lives of Cat. Have you had others?
Then my daughter.
Have you had other
Let's go ahead.
near misses?
Do I would figure it out. It's so simple, but
I knew.
Well, I probably had more than I don't remember. But I do
Yeah.
remember spinning out on some ice coming from work one night about midnight.
Wow.
And that's the highway spot to the bridge. Over just a small highway bridge over a street.
Uh-huh.
And it was nothing but ice. And I spun out. I saw the guy in front of me spin out. And I pulled out and I slowed down. I was only doing like 20 at that point. And I ended up spinning. And he had all of these pipes hanging out of the back of his pickup truck.
Oh
And
my
when I
God.
finally stopped, his those pipes were probably about 2 or 3 feet in front of my windshield.
But they didn't go through the windshield.
No.
Again,
And
I'd say that
and then we
you had some
finally
protection there.
stopped.
Yeah.
And we looked at each other, and he's like, "Oh," I could read his lips.
Yeah.
And we both like, "You okay?" Okay, the thumbs up. So I had to turn. I'm facing the wrong way on the highway, so I had to go backwards and to turn around, and he just kept on. But, oh my gosh, yeah, that was so.
That's another one.
It's probably about 22 years old, something like that.
Yeah, it's amazing how many times we come so close to going to the other side and that we get saved by these guardian angels. There's two. I asked you if you'd had a precognitive dream, because sometimes what happens is people get a vision of being in a car accident. Happens a lot because that's actually a lot of how people go over. But if you see that and it feels real to you, you can go back to that, whether not in a sleep state, but go into a light relaxation state and call that vision back up and change it with your mind. And that's how you can change having that accident happen. That happened to me where I had a dream, and I know lots of people, I do research, so I have tons of stories on this issue of being saved because they were given a precognitive premonition. But I had this experience of being walking across the street along the side of cars. I was going to my car on Central Street, and this white car comes up, doesn't see the car in front of it, doesn't stop, hits it, and then it hits me, and I get killed in this vision. So I go back to it, and see the license plate. I see the kind of car it is, and the other kind of car that's like on the side, but not the engine's still on. And so I redo it with my mind because this hasn't happened yet, and everything is created by our minds. And so I recreate it so the driver of the white car isn't on his cell phone, isn't looking down, is looking up, sees the car that's pulled and stops. So he doesn't slam into that car, and that car doesn't over. And about 5 days later, that exact situation happened, where all of a sudden the guy in this car, this white car, all of a sudden he puts his brakes on and leans on the horn to let the guy in front of him know that you don't pull over and leave your engine running on a busy street. And I was right there going to my car to open it. And so I got saved. But had I not, I don't believe that I would have be here right now had I not had that precognitive moment and gone over it. You know, it's just like we get these indications for driving, going on trips, for all sorts of activities where all of a sudden we get a premonition of, oh, I shouldn't do this. I had a client that her husband was a pilot, and she just said, I have this premonition that I shouldn't go on this plane. You know, he had a Cessna, a small engine plane. And she said she felt it so strongly. So she called me, and I said, don't do it. Your guides are telling you not to go. And she's like, well, my husband will be angry at me. And I said, he might be okay. It might be that there is some sort of issue with karma, with the energy, with who you are, and other out of body spirits going on, that if you don't get in that Cessna and he goes, he'll be fine. But if you get on it, you won't be.
Mhm. Yeah,
So she said, well, I'll risk my marriage to stay alive.
100%.
And she didn't go, and he went to take off, and he couldn't get off the ground. There was a problem with the engine. And so he might not have been safe if they had gotten off the ground, or you just don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because naysayers will be like, hey, you can't prove that something would have happened. You can't prove it wouldn't either, though. And that's the whole point. Regardless, you're safe. They're safe. And
Well, that's part of the
Just be thankful for that.
spiritual journey is our faith and trust and our development. If we are going the spiritualist path, then we are working on developing our senses and our understanding of we're beyond the physical body and the physical mind. That's the one thing that I think is so extraordinary about having an NDE, because when you go over to the other side, you're not restricted with the mind or the body. You're an aspect of consciousness, and you're a frequency, and you have a resonance and a color and a sound. And what that all is, how we experience it, to define it, is that we're the frequency of love, because that's what is the other side. And so if you hadn't had that in you, you wouldn't have gone to that place of peace. You know, because you don't go there. Because dimensions are created by frequency, and what creates a dimension are the laws that keep the construct of this dimension vibrating with the color and sound that it is. And so love is what is in that frequency. So if you don't have that, you can't go to that place. You go to another place. It's just like the lower astral plane has its own frequency, and some people want to go there, but they can't. And some people go there and don't want to be there. But that's the frequency. It's because of what the construct is of that frequency. That's what dimensions are. People talk about the veil all the time, and like, oh, the veil is thin. But really, what it is it's all the energetic vibrations that created by the laws that make the construct of what is able to exist within that dimension.
So another way of looking at the veil is you're not looking through I call it a dirty curtain.
A literal though, yeah.
But you're looking at from different vibrational levels.
Absolutely, that's
And
all
that-
that is.
and that
You're
creates
tuning in the
that-
radio basically to a different frequency.
Right.
And that creates the distortion.
Exactly. And, people come back from an NDE and they're like, I just felt this deep spiritual love. And that's what is over there. And they're like, but I don't feel it here. And it's like, but that's one of the lessons. That's in us. You can call that deep spiritual love up from your soul. So can you, whether we have an NDE or an STE, a spiritually transformative experience, which you should talk about because that's what you've had.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
people understand
Yeah.
the difference, because one is going over to the other side, but the other is having guardian angels save you and being given the experience of God and love and consciousness, and you are saved and you stay on the earth plane.
Yeah.
And all there is about it is because you have a purpose.
Just a very abbreviated version of what I had was I was in a car accident in '94. My son was 5 years old and he was in the back seat, and he and the passenger were taken out, and I was trapped, and they took the jaws of life to get me out. It took 45 minutes, and I didn't bleed at all, but my foot had been I had a compound left fib fracture, which basically means my foot twiddled.
Oh,
And I was trapped in the car and didn't bleed at all. And once they got me in the ambulance, I started bleeding heavily. And they were able to reattach my foot. It didn't take, basically. So I am a left below knee amputee. However, my young son, who was 5, and he was terrified. He didn't want to leave me. He kept saying, my mama's going to die. My mom's going to die. And I go home, and I was living at my mom's house with my son to recuperate for a few months. And he still don't want to leave her, and she's going to die. And finally, he talked to my mom and said the reason that he thought mama was going to die is because he saw my angel. She had her arms wrapped around me, and he saw when they took him out of the car, he saw the top of her head and the top of her wings through the top of the car, and there was a light coming from. So in his mind, as a 5-year-old, he thinks she's going to take me with her, and when in reality, she was keeping me from leaving, because we found out I had severed my femoral artery in my leg, and there's no reason I should not have let out.
absolutely. What a gift you were given and what a gift your son was given. It makes me, I just feel it well up. I'm like, I'm putting my hand here going, don't worry, you're wearing eye makeup. I'm so vain.
He's
But it's
35, and to this day, he will tell you he saw mama's angel.
See, isn't that just, what a gift.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's a good one.
And to know, so many people go, I don't know what my purpose is. Well, it's like, what's in your heart?
Yeah.
And sometimes we are given, I think, an experience like this to say, you do have a purpose. And so, quit running around, just go into your heart to find it.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, I don't know where my purpose is. Well, you find it all in here. This is where everything starts, is inside
I
of
love
us.
that. The fact that everything boils down to love. Doesn't matter what you believe
Absolutely.
in, whatever. It's all about love.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And if you focus on it, and if you keep asking what the purpose is, and give yourself some quiet time to listen, you'll find out.
You give yourself some grace,
Absolutely.
because we're all human.
Exactly. And just go there humbly and ask him. Just sit there quietly, or ask before you go to sleep at night, because I get messages and emails all the time. And I was basically, I was 20 at one point. I kept asking and asking. It took a long time to get an answer. And all of a sudden, Yes, an angel did appear in my dream and said, "You're here." And I'm like, "Really? That's
Never
cool."
before.
And I said, "So what am I hearing?" And they said, "You don't heal physically." I'm like, "Okay, well that's good."
Oh, yeah.
But, but they said, "No."
What do you mean?
I said, "What does that leave you?" You're a mental and an emotional mental and spiritual healing. So, which told me a lot about my life because I'm like a magnet. People will just come to me and they'll just start telling me their whole life story, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. I'm like,
That happened to me.
what happens all the time? And I'm like, I know one of the traits of a Pisces. That's what I am, I'm a Pisces. And it's huge. But it finally made more sense. So, be patient, just keep asking, and then ask right before you fall asleep. And maybe sometimes you get an answer soon
Yes.
at some point.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They will tell you.
Mhm.
So I know you got to get back to your
I
your
do.
table, but
Thank
I
you
thank
so
you
much.
for
This was so great. And it's true. He walked into the room and I was like, "Hi, who are you?" And then I was like, "Oh," and I started talking to him about my experiences. So that's very true. It's just something about you and you too. And it was just, this was so
Wonderful,
delightful. This is a wonderful, wonderful expo. This is my first experience here. You guys have been here before.
Yes, yes. It's his
your
first,
first?
my second.
And so we'll have to have a reunion next year. Let's meet back here.
100%.
In the meantime, my name's Althea Watson. I do intuitive consulting, Reiki, and chakra balancing, analysis and scanning, and environmental investigations.
Where can they find you at?
You can find me. I have a website, Althea watsonpsychic.com, and there's all the information about me and lots of interviews that I've done, and we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is great. I feel like there's so much more we can talk about.
I know, I know. I'm like,
know? Yeah.
we're not going to have enough time today, I'm sure.
No, you've got a lot of people that want to talk to you guys.
Yes.
our shows are an hour a month. Tuesday nights at 7 p.m.
Yes.
live, and then we save them basically where am I going to save them?
Yeah, it'll be like, we have it live on Tuesday nights, and then they can be seen on review on Facebook, YouTube, and or Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
we'll get you on the show next year sometime.
Right, well,
I so look forward to hearing like your next adventure close to death.
right? No
Hopefully
kidding.
they're more fun.
No kidding.
Well,
But I
they're
have
like,
a card, so we will be getting.
and write these up because this is like an amazing adventure of how you escape death through your life. It's really extraordinary, right?
It is. It's incredible.
They just,
We do have pictures that you shared. I think it's on Monster, or maybe it's on your personal Facebook page of the accident in the.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
see,
So,
perfect.
yeah, you
Yeah,
could,
it's on my Master Curating page. It's also.
we'll share them up too.
So,
if
yeah.
you're
Well, look forward to it. Thank you guys so much.
Have a wonderful day.
wonderful day.
Thank you. And you as
And
well.
thank you. All righty.
Good luck
See
today.
you later.
Thank you. Bye. Yes.
All right.